Ever notice how the things we cling to the tightest, our health, our family's choices, even the past, are the very things that exhaust us? I spent years wrestling with life until one morning, sitting on my back porch, I realized a secret. The less I tried to control, the more peace I found. If you're tired of fighting the current, stay with me. I'll show you how to float instead. 1. Life teaches us through resistance. Hey there, friend. Imagine us sitting on my back porch, the kind with creaky boards and a view of the garden I've tended for years. I've got a story for you. Life's funny, isn't it? The more we try to wrestle it into shape, planning every minute, nudging folks to see things our way, the more it fights back. I used to think if I just pushed harder, I could make everything line up, get the kids to call more, keep my health perfect, even force the tomatoes to ripen on time. But I'd end up frazzled, staring at a messy yard, wondering why I felt so beat. Ever feel that? Like you're rowing against the current, paddle digging in, but going nowhere? Here's the thing I've learned after all these years. Life's a teacher, and it shows us the ropes when we stop tugging so hard. Take my neighbor, Clara. She spent months fretting over her son's job hunt, calling him daily, losing sleep. He landed a gig eventually, but not because of her worry. It happened when she let go, trusted he'd figure it out. Research backs this up. Psychologists say clinging too tight spikes our stress, wears us thin. Marcus Aurelius, a wise man from way back, once said something like, "Don't waste your strength battling what's already here." Plain and simple, resisting life's lessons just tires us out. So how do we ease into this? First, notice when you're pushing. Maybe your shoulders tense up planning Thanksgiving, scared it won't be perfect. Take a breath. Let it be what it is. Second, pick one thing to trust today, like the doctor's advice or a grandkid's choice, and see how it feels to loosen that grip. Third, try this. Sit with a cup of tea, watch the steam curl up, and tell yourself, "I've done my part, now I'll let it roll." I did this after a knee surgery scare, quit fussing over every ache, trusted the healing would come. It did, slow but sure. Ever had a time you pushed too hard and wished you hadn't? What happened when you stopped? Share it below. I'd love to hear your tale. Here's a fresh angle. Every time life resists, it's handing you a chance to grow stronger, like a tree bending in the wind. What's one stubborn patch in your life right now? How might it be teaching you? The takeaway. Life's not meant to be forced. It flows best when we trust its lessons, not fight them. Next, we'll talk about where your real strength hides. Stick around, won't you? What's a time you let go and things worked out? Share your thoughts below. I'm eager to swap stories with you. 2. Real power comes from letting go. Picture us in my living room, friend. The fire crackling low, a couple of worn armchairs pulled close. I've been thinking about something lately. How we spend so much energy trying to hold everything together, like keeping a stack of old photo albums from toppling. I used to do that, fretting over whether my daughter's marriage would last, or if I'd saved enough for the roof repair. I'd lie awake, hands clenched, as if worrying could fix it all. Sound familiar? Maybe you've felt that knot in your chest, trying to make life bend your way. But here's what I've found after all these miles. Real strength isn't in the gripping. It's in the letting go. Take my buddy Frank. He spent years pushing his grandson to join the family business, calling, cajoling, until they barely spoke. One day, he stopped, trusted the kid to find his own path. Guess what? They're closer now than ever. Epictetus, an old thinker with a sharp mind, said something like, "You're free when you quit chasing what's not yours to hold." Simple truth. Our power's in choosing what we carry, not controlling what we can't. Here's how to try it. First, spot where you're clinging. Maybe it's nagging about a friend's health or replaying a doctor's visit in your head. Pause there. Second, take a slow walk. Around the block, feel the air, and whisper, "I've done what I can." Third, hand it over. Trust life to sort it out. like you'd trust a good neighbor with a spare key. I did this when my arthritis flared. Quit fighting the pain, focused on my morning stretches instead. It eased up, bit by bit. Ever let go of something tough and felt lighter? What was it? Tell me below, I'd love your story. Think of it this way. Every time you release that tight hold, you're opening a window for hope to slip in. What's one worry you could set down today? The takeaway. True strength isn't forcing life's pieces to fit. It's trusting they'll fall where they're meant to, leaving you free to breathe. Next, we'll explore how to focus on what you can shape. Stay with me, okay? What's a burden you've dropped that surprised you with peace? Share it in the comments. I'm all ears for your wisdom. 3. Focus on what you can shape. Hey, friend, let's imagine we're at my kitchen table, the one with the scratches from years of family dinners, a plate of cookies between us. I've been mulling over how life feels like a big puzzle sometimes, pieces we can fit, and others that just won't budge. I used to wear myself out over things I couldn't change, like when my son moved cross-country, or that storm took out my favorite oak tree. I'd stew, thinking if I just planned better, I could have stopped it. Ever catch yourself doing that? Replaying what went wrong, as if worrying could rewrite it? But here's what I've learned. Peace comes when you pour your heart into what you can touch. Think of my friend Betty. She couldn't make her knees stop aching, but she started tending her little porch garden. Couldn't fix the pain, but those marigolds bloomed bright, and so did her smile. Marcus Aurelius, a wise fella from way back, said something like, "Stick to what's in your hands, don't waste time on the rest." Plain talk. You can't steer the wind, but you can trim the sails. Here's how to do it. First, name what's yours. Maybe it's cooking supper tonight or calling a grandkid. Focus there. Second, let the other stuff slide. Write down one worry like, will the roof hold this winter? And set it aside. Third, do something small today. Plant a seed, mend a shirt, and feel that quiet win. I tried this when my blood pressure spiked. Couldn't control the numbers, but I walked the driveway each morning. Felt better, step by step. Ever shifted your focus and found calm? What worked? Share below. I'd love to hear it. Here's a new twist. Every time you shape what's yours, it's like adding a stitch to a quilt, small, but it holds. What's one thing you can nudge today? The takeaway. Life's sweetest control is over your own corner. Tend it well, and the rest sorts itself out. Next, we'll see how letting go of the outcome sets you free. Hang around, won't you? What's a little piece of your day you shaped and felt proud of? Share your thoughts below. I'm eager to cheer you on. 4. Detachment brings peace. Hey there, friend. Let's sit out by my old swing set. Rusted now, but it still creaks with memories of the kids playing. I've been thinking about how we tie ourselves in knots over things we can't hold on to. Like when my daughter's first job fell through, I stayed up nights, heart racing, as if my worry could land her a new one. Ever done that? Clung to a hope, like better health or a family fix, until it's all you feel. I used to think that's what love looked like, holding tight to how things should be. But here's what life's shown me. Peace sneaks in when you loosen that grip. Take my pal Lou. He obsessed over his son joining the army, begging him to stay close. Pushed so hard, they stopped talking. One day, Lou let it go, trusted his boy's path. They're laughing over coffee again now. Epictetus, an old soul with a sharp eye, said something like, "Don't demand life fits your picture. Take it as it rolls and you'll smile." Simple wisdom. Stop wrestling the outcome and you'll breathe easier. Here's how to try it. First, spot where you're stuck. Maybe it's fussing over a friend's choices or a bill you can't shrink. Name it. Second, picture letting it float away, like a leaf on the creek out back, and feel your shoulders drop. Third, shift to today. Call someone you love, not to fix, just to hear their voice. I did this when my hip started acting up. Quit chasing a cure, enjoyed a slow porch sit instead. Peace crept in. Ever let something slip and felt free? What was it? Tell me below. I'd love your story. Here's a fresh take. Detachment's like pruning a rose bush, cut back the worry, and what's left blooms stronger. What's one wish you could release today? The takeaway. Happiness isn't in forcing life's hand, it's in trusting what comes and finding calm right where you stand. Next, we'll uncover how success flows when you stop pushing. Stay with me, okay? What's a time you let go and found peace unexpected? Share it in the comments. I'm all ears for your journey. 5. Success follows. Trust, not force. Hey friend, let's imagine we're out in my garage, the one with the workbench cluttered from years of tinkering. Tools, half-finished birdhouses, a radio humming low. I've been thinking about how we chase success like it's a race we can win if we just run harder. I used to be that way, pushing to keep the house spotless for company, stressing over every doctor's appointment, figuring if I forced it all into place I'd come out on top. Ever felt that? Like if you could just squeeze life a little tighter, get the kids to visit more, stretch the pension further, things would work out? I'd end up with a headache and a to-do list longer than my arm. But here's what I've learned after all these years. Real wins don't come from arm twisting. They grow when you trust the way things unfold. Take my neighbor, Ellen. She spent months hounding her daughter to take a nursing job, calling, emailing, losing sleep over it. The girl went her own way, became a teacher instead. Ellen finally eased up, trusted her daughter's heart, and now they're closer than ever. She even brags about those classroom stories. Steve Jobs, that tech fella, once pushed too hard, rushed a product, the Lisa computer, and it flopped. Later, he learned to step back, trust his team, and out came the Mac. Seneca, a wise old voice, said something like, "Patience gets you further than force ever will." Plain and simple. Shove too hard, and you stumble. Trust your work, and the path clears. So, how do we live this? First, pick one thing you're forcing. Maybe it's fixing a grandkid's choices or rushing a garden to bloom. See it clear. Second, do your part. Plant the seeds, make the call, then sit back, hands off, like you're waiting for bread to rise. Third, trust it'll happen. Sip your coffee tomorrow and say, "I've done enough, let's see." I tried this when my back went out, quit fretting over every twinge, stuck to my stretches, trusted the doc. It's healing, slow, but steady. Here's a practical nudge. Tomorrow, write down one goal, like calling a friend, and do it without worrying what they'll say back. Feel that ease? Ever pushed something and wished you'd waited? What happened when you let it ride? Share below. I'd love to hear your take. Think of it fresh. Success is like fishing. You cast the line, but you don't yank the fish up. You wait, and it comes. Back in the day, I'd nag my son to fix his old Chevy. Thought if I didn't, he'd never get it running. One spring, I stopped, trusted him to tinker when ready. He rolled it out, purring, prouder than I'd ever seen. What's one thing you could trust to grow on its own? Maybe it's a family bond or that quilt you've been stitching. Let it simmer. Research shows folks who let go of rigid plans often find better chances, like a detour leading to a prettier view. What's a win you're chasing too hard right now? How could trusting shift it? The takeaway. Success isn't about muscling through. It's about doing your bit, then letting life deliver when it's time. Next, we'll wrap up with how this all ties together for a freer you. Don't miss it, okay? What's a time you trusted instead of forced, and it paid off? Drop your story in the comments. I'm excited to swap tales with you. Have you ever tried this yourself? Tell me how it went for you in the comments. I'm all ears. Friend, life's taught us plenty by now, hasn't it? One big lesson I've picked up is this. The more we fight to control every twist, whether it's family, health, or just getting through the day, the more we wear ourselves thin. Real strength isn't in forcing life to obey. It's in trusting its flow, like a river finding its way. Marcus Aurelius hinted at this years ago. Focus on what's yours to shape, your own heart and hands, and let the rest roll on. For us, that might mean easing up on worrying about the kids' choices or that next doctor's bill, and instead savoring a quiet morning with a good book. Every stumble's a chance to grow. Think of it like tending a garden. You water what you can, but the sun decides the rest. So, take a breath today. Let go of one nagging worry, and trust you've done enough. You'll find peace not in the struggle, but in the stillness after. That's the gift of these years, knowing what matters and living it with a lighter step. What's one thing you could trust life with today?